So hello friends, we'll be continuing with the actuators. In last lecture, in last video, we have seen the different principles of electrical actuators as well as electromechanical actuators. In electrical actuators, we have seen the electronic devices such as the switching devices, transistor and relays. Then we have gone for the electromechanical type of actuators, in which we have seen the motors as the actuators, in which we have focused on the DC motor, AC motors, synchronous motors, induction motor and the stepper motor. So today we will be continuing with the next actuator, that is the electromagnetic actuators. So solenoid is the most common electromagnetic actuator. Actually we have seen this concept of solenoid in electromagnetic principles when we studied the principles of sensors. So the same principle is used for converting into the linear motion. So the solenoid is most commonly used actuator, electromagnetic actuator, which will be used to drive the various actuators which will be connected to the solenoid. So we will see the example. So let us try to understand how the solenoid works once again. So the direct current solenoid actuator consists of a soft iron core enclosed by a current carrying coil. So when you pass the current through the coil, the magnetic field is established, and that will force to push or pull the iron core depending upon the current direction. So if the current is there, then it will be pushed ahead, and if the current is not there, then it will be pulled back. So this is how the coil is energized. So alternate current solenoid devices are also encountered in AC excitation relays. So that is the example of AC excitation relay, is the example of this solenoid. So solenoid operates a directional control valves as shown in the figure. So we are going to see the figure also. So normally due to the spring action, the soft iron core is pushed to the extreme left position, and when the current is not there, again because of spring action it will be pulled back. So when the solenoid is excited, the soft iron core will move to the right, and uh, thus providing the electromagnetic actuation, and when it is deactivated or de-energized, then it will come back to its original position to the left side. So another important type of actuator is electromagnet. So the electromagnets are extensively used in application where the large forces are expected. So we will see how exactly the solenoid is working. So when it is on, you can see that this soft core material is moving to and fro. So this is how exactly the circuit works. So this is the switch. So when you switch it on, the current will flow through the coil, and that will attract this soft iron core, and it will move towards and for back and forth. So this is how exactly the actual solenoid works. Now this is the principle where the solenoid is actually applied to your pneumatic or hydraulic valve. So you can see that here it is your core and here it is your coil. So when you supply the current to this coil, what will happen? Because of that, this core will, which is attached to this rod, which is attached to this piston, will move to and fro, and spring action is there. Okay, so spring is connected at this end. So what will happen? So when the current will flow through this solenoid, then the core will get attracted, and what will happen? Now this is open. Now this is open. So whatever may be the oil is there, or whatever may be the fluid is there. Let us say the fluid. So the fluid will be the proper word. So that fluid will flow out, and this is the supply. So initially that will supply it back to the this side. Now what will happen when the solenoid is energized? So this will move in this direction, and this piston, now it will take this position. Now it will take this position. So this outward supply will be closed, and this will be, now the movement will be from this side. So the exit will be from this side. So this will move to this one, and this will be open. So whatever may be the fluid is there, that fluid will move out from this one, and the supply, when it comes back again, this will supply. So this supply is again connected to this pneumatic or hydraulic type of valve. So whenever there is a pressure, this pressure in this region, this pressure will move this rod in this direction or this piston in this direction, and whenever there is a pressure from this side, it will move in this direction. So the pressure is decided by this coil. So the supply and the whatever may be the exit of that fluid, that is decided by the solenoid coil current, and that will make this valve on and off. So the supply is made on and off to this piston, and that accordingly the piston will move in the linear direction. So this is the solenoid action, where we can use we'll try to understand this concept when we'll move to the pneumatic and hydraulic type of actuators. So this is what the simplest concept, and I'm trying to explain it with the help of another type of diagram. So here you can see that whenever you push down the switch, what will happen? This solenoid will move. This solenoid will move inside this coil, and this, here you can see that this valve will get open, and the fluid will flow from this end, left end to right end. So this is what the simplest solenoid valve, how exactly it works. It can be seen. So you can use it for a flow control. So you can use it for a flow control. So the valve is open and valve is closed. So a simple on and off condition is there. So you can see the same principle, but here instead of using a single valve, a 3 valve is used, and these 3 valves are controlled with the help of a single core solenoid, and that will move the direction of this piston in the linear motion. Okay, so this is what how the electromagnetic actuators works. Okay, so now we'll move to the next and important mechanical actuators. So generally it is also called as a fluid power actuators. So we can again divide it on the basis of which kind of fluid it is. So simply I'll say that that will be a fluid power actuator, FP type of actuator, which will be divided into hydraulic actuator and pneumatic actuator. So this will be a hydraulic actuator, and this is a pneumatic actuator. So hydraulic actuator, which will be using the oil as a material, and in pneumatic actuator, so instead of oil, the gaseous type of, or most of the time air is utilized. So the pneumatic actuators, they generally use the gas or air, and hydraulic, they generally use the oil. So that's why we can easily find it out. Hydraulic, hydro means a water type or a liquid, and pneumatic means air. So hydraulic and pneumatic actuators are either, it may be a rotary motor or a linear piston. So in last example we have seen at it is a linear motion, because the flow of the material or the flow of fluid, that will force the piston to move to and fro. So that will cause a linear piston type of cylinder. So the control valves, again, that can be decided by this action also. The pneumatic actuator will also use for controlling the valve actions. They are ideally suited for generating a very large forces coupled with a large motion. So in most of the time, most of the industrial applications where the large forces are required, you will find most of the time pneumatic and hydraulic type of actuators are used. So the best example that I have given you the last time, the pneumatic and hydraulic type of actuators are generally utilized for uh, uh, the lifters, the heavyweight lifters that are used, lifting machines that are using such kind of actuators. So you just go through the internet, you search for such kind of lifting machines, and you will find the applications in terms of videos, and you will understand the concept of hydraulic and pneumatic actuators. So the pneumatic actuators generally use the air under pressure, that is the most suitable low to medium force, short stroke and a high speed application. So whenever you require a medium force, where short stroke and a high speed applications are required, generally pneumatic actuators are preferred. Hydraulic actuators are using the pressurized oil which is incompressible and that can produce a very large forces. So whenever you are going from a medium to large forces, generally hydraulic actuators are preferred over the pneumatic actuators, uh, with the motion in a cost effective manner, and most of the time the air and the oil that you can use it again and again. So but as compared to pneumatic, the hydraulic actuators need the more maintenance. So the disadvantage of a hydraulic actuator is that it is a complex one and it needs more maintenance. So the rotary motors are usually used in application where the low speed or the torque is required, high torque is required. So the rotary motors which works on this principle, hydraulic or pneumatic actuators principle, so that also used for a low speed and high torque applications. So the cylinder pistons actuators are mostly suited for many of the applications where the linear applications, linear motion is required, such as aircraft flap control. So you know that aircraft, the wings have the flaps, and to control that flaps you can use these air pistons or uh, pistons or pneumatic actuators which will move that flap so that the direction will be decided by the aircraft. Okay, so this is what the applications we have seen. Now let us try to understand what are the different components of that one and how the pneumatic actuators will work. So the control valves in the form of directional control valves are generally used in conjunction with the rotary motors and cylinders to control the fluid flow direction. So in previous diagram we have seen that the flow is there, liquid flow is there, so that is moving, that flow is moving, and that will create the pressure in the downward piston, and that will force to move the piston either to and fro depending on the pressure applied from which side. Okay, so this is what the example we have given. So what will happen, initially there is a supply from this, so now this is closed. What will happen, so the material will flow from this diagram. Okay, okay, so the pressure is in this direction, so the pressure is in this direction. Now what will happen, when this solenoid will close it, this solenoid will close it, so whatever may be the liquid is there or whatever may be the fluid is there, that fluid will move from this end to this end. Okay, so the pressure is from this side. Now what will happen, now this will get closed, the solenoid will move this in this direction. Now I'll show it with the different color so that you can understand the concept. I'll show it this one diagram. Now what will happen, now this is closed, this is closed, and this will move in this direction, this will move in this direction. So there is a flow of material in this direction and it will move to this one, and the pressure on this side will increase and this will force this piston to move in this direction. Now what will happen, since this path is closed, so whatever may be the liquid or the fluid is there, now this fluid will move from this end to this end, because this will move from this end to this end. So this valve is open, so this pressure will move this fluid in this direction, so that will be the exit for this portion, and this will be the exit for this portion. So this is how so there is a piston movement is there in this direction, in red direction and blue direction, depending on the solenoid valve. If the solenoid valve is operated, then in that case it will move away or it will move outward, and whenever it will get deactivated, it will move inside. So this is how the hydraulic or pneumatic, so depending on what kind of supply, if the supply is of air type, then this valve or this actuator, we will call it as a pneumatic actuator. Actually this is a with a solenoid. So whenever we are considering the hydraulic or pneumatic actuator, it have certain parts, so that we will study it in the next slide. So this supply of this material or this fluid is in the two valves are there, so the two exits are there and one supply is there. So you can see that it will move in this direction. So the flow control, it will control the direction according to the solenoid valve. So the solenoid operated directional control valve, the valve position dictates the direction motion of the cylinder piston arrangement. So as I shown you, it will show you the piston movement. So what are the actual components of such kind of hydraulic and pneumatic actuators? So there are certain components which are associated. The hydraulic and pneumatic actuator is not only that piston part, but it comes along with the certain parts. What are those parts? Let us try to understand it. The two have the similar components. The hydraulic and pneumatic actuators have the similar components, only that the hydraulic actuators use the liquid as a driving force, and while pneumatic actuator use the air as a driving force. Otherwise these actuators, hydraulic and pneumatic actuators, are also known as the mechanical actuators. So most of the important components that are used in this diagram or the actuator is regulator, actuator cylinder, speed valve, then solenoid valve, reservoir and a hand valve. So these are the components generally used in any kind of hydraulic or pneumatic actuator. So it consists a reservoir of a air tank or a fluid tank. So fluid, I'll use the word fluid, so you will understand. If it is a pneumatic, then the fluid is air, and if it is a hydraulic, the fluid may be oil. Okay. So what we will consider that the fluid is used in that one. So that reservoir will have that fluid. Then to control that regulators, the regulator devices are used to control the pressure of that actuating force. So the regulators are generally connected to your reservoir. So you can regulate the pressure that is flowing through the pipes. So you can regulate that one. Then the actuator cylinder is there. So that actuator cylinder is the cylinder that we have seen that. So this is the cylinder, and it has this piston inside it, and this piston is there, and here it is, this material is there. Okay. So it will move in or move out, or supply is from these two ends. So this I will call it as a actuator cylinder. So this is the actuator cylinder. Then the speed valve will be there. So it will be control the speed of the fluid flowing in and out of the pneumatic valve. So it is also known as a flow valve. So you can control it by this end. So you can control it by the end of this pipe. So the speed of the flow of that fluid, you can control it. The speed valve will be at this end. So the flow controls will be there. Then the next one, we the speed valve. The again we are continuing with the speed valve. So the device comprises a screw needle mounted across the cylinder pipe with the inlet and outlet opening. So when you move the screw needle is adjusted in such a way that inward it will decrease the flow rate and vice versa. And when it is taken out from outside in anti-clockwise direction, then the flow rate will be increased and faster, it will work faster in the pneumatic actuator. So I'll give you the example that, so this is just like a speed valve is similar to your tap of your water tap. So when you consider that this is a pipe and here it is a screw, okay. So when this you move this screw in this direction, so that will move this portion in this side. So whatever maybe the fluid flow is there, that will be controlled by this screw, and when will move in this anti-clockwise direction, so this will move outside, so more fluid will flow through that pipe. So this is what the speed valve will work. Then the solenoid valve, we have already seen this electronic actuator which will be electrically operated, so or it works on an electromagnetic principle. Then the reservoir is there. So reservoir operates with the principle of air compressor. So when we talk in terms of pneumatic actuators, so we know that the air compressor tank is there. So the best example, whenever you are going or moving to fill up the air in your tires of your vehicle, at that time you see the compressor is there. So that compressor will take the air and that air will get compressed, so that air pressure will be maintained in that compressed and from there you will get the compressed air which will be filled in your tires. So this is what the reservoir, so that compressed tank compressor will call it as a reservoir, or in case of oil, if it is there, then oil tank will be there. Then the hand valve will be there. So this hand valve is the essential component which will be operated manually, so that most probably it is near to the reservoir. It is near to the reservoir, so that you can control the fluid flow in the entire system. So this entire system will control such kind of valve, the flow, and it will make the next actuator system safe or entire flow system safe. So how we are going to connect it in a serial manner, let us try to understand. Here it is the reservoir. So reservoir is controlled with the hand valve. Hand valve is again controlled with the regulator, so that the pressure will be maintained properly. Then a solenoid valve will be there, so that solenoid valve will open this the valves. So the speed valve is near the actuators, so that speed valve decide at which speed the flow will be there. So again from this solenoid valve, so from this actuator, the return path is there, that we have seen that the exit was there. So that return path is through this solenoid only. So when the solenoid is opening and closing that path, exit paths, so that will return the material or the fluid to the reservoir. So this is how the hydraulic and pneumatic actuator works, and these are the components of hydraulic or pneumatic actuators. The only difference is that hydraulic actuators will consist the liquid part, and pneumatic will contain the gaseous part, most probably air. So this is how the hydraulic and pneumatic actuators works. So for this lecture we will stop here only. So we are supposed to study the micro actuators also. In next lecture, in next video, we are going to see the micro micro and nano type of actuators along with the selection criteria. So if you have any query, you can ask me. You do subscribe to my channel Tech Fundas, and if you have any queries, you can post me on my mail anupvibhute@gmail.com. Thank you very much.